All right. Let's try this again. I believe we are live. Technical difficulties. I tell you, I truly believe the greater the challenge, the greater the victory. So let's see if it's working now. Right? Let's see if it's working. Are we working? Are we live? OMG. The greater the challenge, the greater the victory on this Tuesday.
All right, we are live.
Looks like we're live. Let me just check, make sure. Oh my goodness.
All right, so I'm live over here. All right, welcome everyone.
Are we live over there? Okay, I'm not live over here. Let me make sure we're good.
All right, welcome. We're going to get into this discussion here in just a moment. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for being a part.
Let's see, am I live? Okay, let me double check all of the technical difficulties, guys. We apologize. But I truly believe the greater the challenge, the greater the victory. Happy Tuesday to everybody. You know, it's all about, it's not the things that's going to happen in life. It's all about how you handle the things that happen in life, right? Yes. So happy Tuesday, everybody. We're super excited to be before you on this incredible afternoon for Midday Madness in the month of July, as we are going to share and talk nuggets that truly have helped us to create success in the industry of network marketing. All right. So happy Tuesday, everybody. Take the time to definitely, grab a pen and paper. Some of you may be at work. Some of you may be on your lunch break. It is early on the West Coast, but it's being recorded. So the great part about it is that you could always go back and listen to it again. All right. So happy Tuesday, y'all, to everybody. All right. Take the time to tag, share, do all of that. All right. As we're discussing an industry that, many people misunderstand, right? But it's an industry that truly is creating freedom all around the entire world. And it all starts with a simple yes. All right, guys?
All right, so guys, let's go ahead and get prepared. If you need pen and paper, that's fine. Grab pen and paper. You definitely want to take some notes. Guys, this isn't just an ordinary conversation. This is a candid, in-depth conversation. For those of you that are in the industry, the MLM industry.
I'm not seeing on yours over there. All right.
For those of you that are in the MLM industry, and for those of you that are thinking about being a part of the MLM industry, then this discussion is most definitely for you. So let me see if I can get this camera right really quickly. All right, so we can get into this. I'm just going to push this back a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing about using the phone. You can only get half of a head when it's two people, right? Okay. On that Android, that's a pretty big screen.
The thing.
I probably wouldn't need to move this, but we're going to improvise to that and overcome over here today. All right. All right, but great afternoon to everybody jumping on Facebook, everybody jumping on Instagram.
All right, so we got the whole gang is here. Thank you guys. If you are jumping on StreamYard, then make sure to give you guys a little time to do this. Make sure, first of all, somebody give me a sound check. Make sure you guys can hear me okay, right?
They hear us because they talk about love Androids.
Cool. So here's the other thing. We're going to give you guys about 60 seconds before we get started. If you can't, because right now, somebody that said love Androids, I don't know who you are because it just says Facebook user. So what you want to do is you want to go out and you want to come back in. But when you come back in this time, there's a little box that you can check to give StreamYard permission to show your name. Okay, because we most certainly want to know who we're talking to. So when you put comments on, we actually see those comments, and we can go back and reply to those comments as well. You guys can be a part of this discussion. All right. So I'm gonna turn this music down so that we can get started, because I want everybody to get the full benefit of this. And so, as you guys know, my name is Nathan McCray. This is my amazing, incredible wife, Pam McCray.
Yeah,
thank you, baby. We are top leaders and top earners in the industry of MLM. So some of you are asking what makes us qualified, to actually talk to you guys today about this industry. First and foremost, as my wife always says, we have been in this industry for 25 plus years, right? Seen a lot, done a lot, had a lot of success, had a lot of failure, and a lot of success also. So I think the two are tandem, and they go hand in hand.
Right.
For those of you that may not notice, maybe your very, very first time seeing Pam and I, we live in Las Vegas, Nevada right now, and we're basically living a life that we've always dreamed of, and still building, still trying to create some wealth, some generational wealth, and move through some things here. But one of the principles of this industry, or anything that you really do in life, is to give back. In what aspect are you really going to give back? And one of the ways that we're giving back now is by coming on to a broadcast like this and actually talking to you guys about some of the things we've been through, to help you guys go through some of the things that you're going to go through, or some of the things that you're going through right now. Guys, I'm the author of an ebook right now, which is going to paperback copy this month. So you guys will be able to grab it on Amazon. It's on Amazon right now as an ebook. All right. So I went ahead and printed mine out. Right. I'm the author of How to Build a Fire in Your MLM Business.
I know, had a fancy cover.
I know, because you printed out the one without the cover. Right. So this book basically is 25 years of experience condensed into 20 some odd sections, which really gives you a great insight on the book. And how did the book come into play? How did I think about writing? I just didn't sit down and write this book over a week or 2 weeks or a month. This book was a culmination of things, from soup to nuts, A to Z, from start to finish, on what you're going to go through in this industry, or what you're going through, and how you get through it. How do you have success, right? How do you get through it? So you can, Amazon, right? So the book is on Amazon. If you want, just go Google Amazon, search my name, Nathan McCray, or you can just type in the title, How to Build a Fire in Your MLM Business. The spark, the smoke, the fire. You don't have to put the whole thing in there, but we're going to talk about that today. And I've got the honor and the privilege to have the millionaire mompreneur herself, Ms. Pam McCray, on with us. And, she's going to be with us for the remainder of July. And we're going to be going into an in-depth discussion of this book. Okay. And, we want to recognize your comments on StreamYard, but we're not going to get into them. If you guys ask a pertinent question, then we'll most certainly try to answer it. But we really want to go through a couple sections in this book. But before I do that, I want to give the floor to Pam a little bit so she can say something to you guys before we get into this.
Well, I just want to say, I'm just really excited to really be sharing from the heart some of the things that we've been through in the industry of network marketing, in the industry of MLM, to really get to the point to where we are today. Because a lot of times people really don't understand the power of the industry, but also the process that you have to go through in order to create success. And one of the things that we truly had to learn, throughout the failures that we had to go through, that it was all a part of our process. And once we learned how to embrace our process and to really become the person that we were looking for, as we're continuing to become, because we, are still growing every single day. We just learned that our mindset is everything. And once we began to shift our mindset and to grow our, our mind, and to change our mental capacity, that truly, that's when success began to happen in our business, But a lot of times it's unfortunate that most people start incredible businesses in our industry, because our industry is powerful. It's an industry that really is creating freedom and legacy for people all around the world. But most people quit before the finish line. And it's because there's a misunderstanding, I would say, as to how this really works and the work that has to be put in. But Nate and I always had the mindset that, if we can embark upon something that would allow us to get involved, that we could begin to build, because we didn't have a whole lot of money to go out and to buy traditional businesses and things. We were broke, right? We were broken at pretty much every opportunity that we started because we believed in more. But truly, that it is something that if you embrace and you engage in and you put in the work, that it can really begin to change your life, create the life that you always dreamed of, as you're really focusing on other people, which is most important. That's what it's really about. It's about how many lives can you impact in this industry, and the more lives that you help, ultimately is where your success is going to lie in.
Absolutely.
That's what I love.
Absolutely. So it is a great industry, and it has had some stigmas, but I just haven't found, Pam, and I haven't found anything that could give you what you need in a short period of time, and even to sustain over a longer period of time, and allow you to create a business without a ceiling, right? So last week we actually talked about a couple of things. We talked about mindset and mechanics. We also talked about the first two sections of the book. Those of you that weren't around for that, the first two sections of the book, we talked about progress or just movement. And we talked about the simple system. And just to review a little bit, what that was: progress or just movement, guys moving vertically, and forward and back, guys, or horizontal. Which one is it going to be for you? What is it? A lot of people think that progress is just moving, but it's just movement. Progress is when you're growing, when you're getting stronger, when you're learning more, when you're actually doing more.
Right.
Sometimes you can learn more, right? Sometimes you can learn more without doing more.
Right.
So, but that's like getting a car and picking it up off the ground and revving the gas up and thinking you're going somewhere, but your wheels are just spinning, but you get no traction, right? So progress or just movement. And I was talking about how I figured that out. And after 10 years, it's a very sickening feeling to figure out that you've been just running in place for 10 years, right?
Yeah, not good.
The simple system. We talked about the simple system and how it starts with you. We talked about every company has a simple system, how to not recreate the simple system, because at that point it is no longer a simple system,
right? Because
you just recreated it and it's not a proven success system, right? So the simple system is there for a reason. I don't care if it's 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, or 6 steps. Every company has one.
Every company has one. And it's simple for a reason, because a person needs to feel like they can do it. And so, that's where a lot of times, people can mess up in the industry, because there's no need to recreate the wheel. If the wheel has already been recreated and it's a proven system, then stick to the system, because the system is going to just do what it says. Save yourself some time, energy, and money, and it really, it works. Simplicity is key.
Why does it work though? It works because it's been proven.
Right. It's been proven.
So if somebody told you that, the way you catch a football is by bringing both hands up and keeping the ball lined up and catching it, grabbing it with your hands, and you decided to catch it with your feet, it's going to be a lot harder, right? So the simple system works. So you got to do follow the blueprint that's been put there, and guess what? It'll work. Most people get impatient. Right. So they don't want to go through the process. Right. So we talked about that last week, guys. You can go back and catch that on my YouTube page, or I think it is on Pam's page. It's on my page. Same avenues. All right. So we want to talk about one of my favorite sections of the book, right? Yeah. And I have fun writing this because when you talk about owning it, it has everything to do with IAO. Which is improvise, adapt, and overcome. And it teaches you how to own where you are, which is what we call in the IAO Academy, the discovery phase, right? So, and we'll get into more of that as this book, we kind of unravel this more, because IAO Academy actually launches on November 1st, right? So if you guys haven't went to IAOlife.com and actually subscribed to the page and subscribe to the website, to IAO, then you won't know these things, right? So just make sure you go do that. And there's a lot of stuff on the website you can purchase, look at, whatever the case may be. But the academy is going to be a leadership development academy. And I'll tell you why that's so important here in a moment. But let's talk about owning. I want to read this first part because I loved it. I smiled the whole time that I wrote this, because it's so relevant. We lived it. We lived every bit of this book. We lived it, right? Which is the thing. Here's the thing. Own it. This is the section. Own it. The quickest way to get back on your feet is to miss 2 car payments. Things get real when you don't have physical transportation. Mm-hmm. But it's mainly because your mental transportation failed first.
That's good.
Right? Example, there's a simple solution that should have preceded this situation, and it starts with a decision to recognize the problem. Pam, read the thought. What's the thought in the solution?
Here's the thought. I can no longer afford this car. Solution, make more money or get a cheaper car, right?
Own it.
But the problem is, a lot of times we don't want to own it. We don't want to accept it. Instead, we want to continue to I don't know what to say. Like, we just don't want to be real with ourselves to understand that sometimes change has to happen. And we don't own the situations that we end up creating, because we are where we are in life because of the very things and the very decisions that we decided to take and to make, you know, and that's a very difficult, because we've been there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, where we couldn't afford the vehicles that we had. Right. And, you know, we attempted to do some things, but it never worked out, and therein lied the rest, the repossession.
Well, we're gonna get into the second part of this. We're in the second part of this here in a moment when we move to the next section, right?
Right.
But owning it, first of all, you have to own it by saying, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
This is a problem, and I get it.
You gotta accept it.
I'm gonna own this thing. Here's the thing: you can't own. You can't change anything that you don't own, anything that you don't control.
Right.
Right. So you can scream to the heavens for people to change it, but if you don't have a hand in controlling it and owning it, then you can't change it. So what does that really look like? Pam said the thought was, I can no longer afford this car. Now I used a very simple example here because it resonates with everybody. Right. I can no longer afford this car. The solution, simple solution: get a cheaper car or get another job to make more money, right? So one of the two has happened, but most people don't do that. They just keep going. We're going to see how that plays out here in the end. The simplicity of what I just said may not register to the person in the situation because they have not yet accepted and owned the problem.
Right.
The solution is evident. Now, guys, this is going to sound a lot like real life, right? Because it is. In this industry, you cannot separate real life and business. We're going to show you, we're going to get into that a little bit further in the book too. So you guys really got to go through this. That part is called transparency, right? You can't separate business, right, from you, who you are in this book. Traditional business maybe, but not here. People want to know, right? So the solution is evident, but because you haven't accepted and owned it, you can't change it. There are always external factors that keep us from making the simple changes, like what people will think. This one factor alone will keep people stuck, right?
That's a biggie.
Your mental transportation is your I'm gonna read through this, guys, and then we can get into it. Your mental transportation is your faculties that keep you on track in all areas. There are many ways to get off track, and the quickest way is to overextend yourself financially. The problem with biting off more than you can chew is the possibility of choking. Here are the things you tell yourself. Problem number one is you tell yourself that you won't choke and that you can handle it. Right? Problem number two, you actually believe it. Problem number three, you go into denial. And I don't mean the river in Africa, right? You go into denial. You convince yourself that it will all be okay. And that's called digging the hole deeper.
Digging it deeper.
So why are we talking about something that really relates so much to real life? Because the reason we failed so much in life itself, is because we've let life start to really control us, right? And the only way to be successful in anything that we do, because you can't turn life off, you can only change it. The only way to really be successful in anything we do is to change who you are and how you think first.
Right.
No matter what industry you come into, I don't care if you start a franchise. I don't care if you start an MLM business. It doesn't matter what company you're with or what product you have. It doesn't matter how much it's in demand. It doesn't matter how many people are saying, hey, I want it, I want it, I want it. You'll be a great retailer, but you will never build a successful team. Right? Until you start to own what your challenges are. I don't like to call them shortcomings or any of that. We call them challenges, what your hurdles are. Until you own those hurdles and those potholes and start filling them in and start knowing where they are so that you can successfully take another route or go around them without running over the same thing. Until you start owning where you are, you will never change it. You will never become a different person. It's amazing how we take the same person into something different.
Oh my gosh, right. It's true. And you have to change you in order to create a different result. But you said something very key here, as you were dropping these incredible nuggets. But, most of the time we don't want to change it is because of the thoughts and the opinions of other people. Mm-hmm. That is one of the greatest things that hold people back, right? Because I can think about our own personal situation. When we knew that we needed to own our situation in order to control our situation, in order to change our situation, we were concerned about outside opinions.
outside looking in,
and that's the reason why we were robbing Peter to pay Paul. We were doing so we looked good to the world, right? But on the inside of the household, things were falling apart. Because we didn't own it. We didn't own that situation. So we weren't in control of it. And it wasn't until we started to shift mentally that we really began to understand this principle. You got to own it, right? In order to change it for real.
Right. And it doesn't matter. You have to go into, and I say this all the time, you have to go into that mode in your life where you get selfish. Yeah. Right. Your whole life, you've been there for other people. You've done this, you've done that. You've said, I don't need all of that. I'm good where I am. We call that settling, right? So now here you are, you've done all of these different things in life, but you still haven't gotten where you want to be. And you've been on this earth 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, right? So ask yourself, why am I not further along than where I am? It starts from the inside looking out first. Okay. You can't be concerned with what the outside looking in, because I got to promise you this. Most people that look from the outside in, they're only looking to find your flaws. They're not really looking to see how well you're doing. No. They're looking to see what they can find that they can talk about. Yeah. Right. So here's the thing. Focus on, if you start focusing on what you have and what you need to do, then things start to change. I talked about in a broadcast a while back, I talked about putting bullets in and taking the bullets out of the gun, unloading the gun, right? If you start owning your challenges, your inefficiencies, and you don't hide them anymore. It's like, I had to get rid of that car. It was killing us. It was too much money. We couldn't afford it. Those words are hard to come out of people's mouth. We couldn't afford it, right? And so if you can't afford it, you start saying that stuff. And now guess what happens? The more you identify your issues, your challenges, what happens is you start pulling bullets out of the gun. So therefore, nobody has anything to fire at you because you've already identified them, right? And now at that point, they can't find anything wrong.
Right. And you'd be surprised how many people can relate to that, who are doing the same thing, who are, experience the same type of pain, but it's just the mindset, of just feeling like you have to
be something that you're not.
Instead of, but people love I know we're going to get into that later, transparency. And, but it's just very unfortunate because that is the mindset that we can have until we shift.
Absolutely. It really is about the transparency. We're going to get into that section. I love that. Heck, I love every section of the book, right? We're going to get into that. And in a minute, my dog is going to start snoring. And you guys are probably going to hear it, right? And that's the realness of a home-based business.
Oh my God.
You're at home, right? 110 pound cane corso here. He's laying here. He wants to be wherever we are. So he's going to start snoring in a minute. So if you guys hear that, right, I'll adjust him, but you guys are going to hear it in a minute. All right. So owning this thing, man, not, falling for your own lies, right? It's one thing when you're telling lies to people outside, that's bad enough. But then when you start believing your own lies, that's the kiss of death, right? So why is this section even in a book for multi-level marketing, for the very one cliche that you hear all the time. And it is the cliche that separates traditional business from untraditional business, which is multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, right? It's a great industry. But here's the thing. People don't join businesses. People join people. And if you're not the people that they want to join, then guess what? Ding, 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 ding. That's why your business isn't growing, right? Because this is a people's business. And for all of you that are not a part of this industry right now, we want to right the ship, right? We want to let you guys know that this industry, I heard a great man say this once, right? And I love it. His name is Mr. Eric Worre, right? He said, this industry is not perfect. It's not perfect. But guess what? It is great. It's a great industry. It's not perfect, but you can do some things here that you can't do other places. Right? So, and he also said that the truth, I want you guys to write this down. The truth is enough. I don't care what business you're in right now. It doesn't matter what company you're with. You're listening to this. The truth is enough, because if you get to the point in your MLM career as an MLM professional and you have to lie about what your products do, you've already failed. We've done, we call it the placebo effect, right? It's like you somebody tells you, oh, this is awesome. You got this, you're gonna love this. And they're so hyped up about it. And then you get in and you're like, you're at the meeting and you can't even sit still in your seat. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You got your book, you're writing stuff down. You said, this is awesome. And then everybody has told you that this is awesome. And then you use the product. And then you're like, I really don't feel that. But they said it's awesome, so it's awesome. Everything is awesome. It's the mouth telling you it's awesome, but there's no evidence, right? And guys, it's even with we're just talking about, we're talking lotions, potions, services, all of that, right? All of that. Right? You look at it and it has to line up. Everything has to get square and line up. There has to be testimonies, there has to be facts that this works. So the truth is enough. Tell the truth. Right? If something happens, if you get a feeling from something, then get it. We happen to be in the instant gratification industry. People want things to happen now. Right. When people take a pill, when they take a something they drink, whatever they take, if they're taking a supplement, they want to feel something. You're not going to always feel it right away. No. Right? You're not going to always feel it right away. What if you're in the service industry? What if you're in the service industry and you give a service, right? And you all of a sudden you get the benefits from that service, you feel good about it. Right? You're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. That's the thing that keeps you coming back. But what if the service that you got didn't give you what you wanted? Right. Or what it promised? Like everything else. Right. Right. That's a problem. So you have to gauge it. Right. And you can't even be passionate about, and passion is the very thing that's going to literally drive you to get up every day and to share this, whatever it is that you're doing. And so if you don't believe in what you're doing and the product or the service doesn't really do what it says it's going to do, it's going to be very difficult to create any type of success. You may create some short-term success, but this industry was designed to create long-term success, for that person that is literally engaging in it and growing in it. Because it's truly an industry that is like a personal development plan with compensation plans attached to it, right? So, it's just so true that, that is what can, is very important. It's very, very key to really creating success. So watch this statement when we talk about success, because that's a word that's thrown around a lot. And this is an in-depth, candid discussion, right? Because we're going to tell you some things, some guys that maybe some people won't tell you, right? That you need to know. Because how do you fix something? You have to make it right. If things start happening, you can't gauge an industry by one person, what one person says, right? You can't gauge an industry by what a group of people says, because they may all be disgruntled all together, right? Something, they just may not have done something right. It just depends, right? Yeah, but here's the thing: when you look at Pam and I, maybe you didn't work, right? Right? Because so many other people have said it works and they've gotten results, right? So when you look at Pam and I, right? People look at us and know over the course of, they say, you guys have become multimillionaires in the course of, 6 years, right? You've earned millions of dollars in the course of 6 years. And we're going to tell you, Pam and I are going to be very humble and very candid with you and tell you, we didn't earn multiple millions in 6 years. We earned multiple millions in 25 plus years, right? Just going to be honest with you. Why do you say that? Because the mental aspect of learning the lessons of how to fail and how to not repeat those mistakes that kept us standing still, actually going backwards, because there's no such thing as standing still, right? It took us a while to understand that. So that's why we get on and do stuff like this, so you guys can understand not to make these same mistakes, so that you can get traction quicker than we did. So it took us 25 plus years. We don't want it to take you 25 plus years. If it can take you, I'm gonna tell you, if you commit yourself, if you're just coming into this, right? And if you say, I'm gonna be a millionaire in 3 months, I'm gonna be a millionaire in 6 months. Am I saying you can't do it? Absolutely not. You're gonna have to find your superstar or your superstars, right, to do that, right? You're gonna have to find that. But I'm here to tell you, right, this is not a get rich quick scheme.
No, right? It's not.
This is something that you're going to have to say. You're gonna have to say, look, I've been doing what I've been doing for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And it's gotten me what I have right now. What if I just decide to say, let me commit a solid year to building myself, which will in turn build my business. How does that happen? The gap that needs to be bridged is building you and building a business. You do that, ladies and gentlemen, by actually applying the things that you learn and allowing the law of attraction to kick in. People are attracted to you. They're not attracted to your opportunity. Right. They're attracted to you. And sometimes you find that out in the beginning because they don't partner with you, right? Sometimes you find that out in the end because they don't really know you. And because you're not growing, you're moving backwards, you end up losing their respect, right? So now I want to get off this team. So many people, I want off this team. It has nothing to do with who you partner with, just to be honest, right? It has everything to do with who you are, right, who you decide to become. So give yourself a solid year and say, this year is going to be far less than I've been doing right now, than 30 years. You've been going around in circles for 30 years. You've been on your job for, some of y'all been trying to retire for doggone, y'all been at a job for 18 years, almost at retirement. And you getting ready to retire, try to retire on 40% of what you can already survive on 100% of. And I'm telling you, this industry is not perfect, but it is better, right? You're going to have some headaches. You're going to have some people that are going to tell you no, and excuse my French, hell no. Maybe so. This is just a reality. People don't answer your calls. People that but you're gonna have to be resilient, right?
Support you. All of that is a part of it, but it creates growth, right? It creates, even more character. It really helps you to see what you have on the inside of you, that makes you realize the strength, because this industry was not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the weak, because it is definitely intended to grow you, to stretch you. And that's the reason why it requires every single person who creates success to think outside the box, to realize that there is no comfort zone. You cannot be in a comfort zone and create success in this industry. So when you understand that, and the potential that is offered by direct sales, MLM, the possibilities, it requires growth. It requires everything that we've talked about.
Yeah, it requires you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it requires you.
We covered some of this. Let's get into the next section quickly, guys. Put down shovel.
That's good.
Put down the shovel. We touched on some of this, but let's read it officially. Pam, you want to read that?
Yes. The first step to fixing this problem is to stop digging. Probably the hardest thing to do, because you're fully vested in that hole. Right now, no one knows that you're in that hole. And you know that if you stop digging, people will get suspicious.
What does that look like, though? What does that mean? If you stop digging, people are going to get suspicious. Let's rewind a little bit and think about what we just talked about a minute ago. Right. That means now when you own it and you start to accentuate, okay, this is where my shortcomings are. All of a sudden, they don't see the Bentley in the driveway in the garage.
Right. I messed up.
Right. I messed up. I got to fix this. I could not afford that.
I couldn't afford it.
Yeah. And I'm using this as an example. I know we're on a car thing, but use as an example because a lot of people live above their means.
Yeah, we did.
Right. We did it for so long. So this is why we're trying to help you guys.
That's good.
All right.
How do you stop digging? You admit to yourself that you are in trouble and you need help. Most people don't understand that the help they need starts with them. Stop buying caps and start trimming. I'm telling you this because in order to have lasting success in this business, you need a solid foundation. That's key. A foundation that can withstand the ups and downs. People
hold on, wait. Okay. We're getting into that section. Wait a minute. Okay. I want to say this because when I said stop buying and start trimming, right? So there's two segments. Get this piece of paper here.
You need it? Yep.
There's two segments. Okay. And I want you guys to get this because it was the hardest thing. I'm gonna bless somebody today. It's not gonna be what you want to hear, but it's what you need. Okay. And I had an issue with this at first because I didn't understand it, right? Because when you're at a deficit for so long in your life, when you finally get to a point to where you get what you want, you can buy what you want, you can do what you want. There's some things that have to be put in place, right? So here it is. Rich people and wealthy people, there's a difference. Okay.
Big difference.
Rich people can buy what they want to buy. All right. They can do what they want to do. They got money coming in. Right. Wealthy people, when they die, the children's got money. Right. And nothing ever changes. That's wealth. Now, here's how you get there. Right. Here's how you get there. This is what you make every month, every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is. Okay. Because this is where it starts. Remember, you're inside now. You're in the hole. Nobody sees you. You're putting the shovel down. Okay. This is how rich people do it. They take this and they cut it in half. Right. They save this. Right. And they spend this. So they save 50% of what they have. Right. And they go and they ball out with the other 50. Right. What wealthy people do is they take this and they save this and they spend this.
Right.
Right. You can ball out with this. Ball out. But this you save. That's how you create 75%. Generational wealth. You save 75% because a wise man once told me it's not about what you get, it's about what you keep. Right. So this is what putting down the shovel means. Right. People are going to get suspicious when you're no longer doing this, that, and the other. You ain't balling out no more because now you have goals. You have a vision. Right. So you put down the shovel and people are like, well, what happened to you? You used to do this and you used to do that. You traded in that Bentley and you got a Honda. And you're like, well, I have goals. It's not that I can't afford the Bentley, but I have goals. I have a certain amount of money that I want to have in the bank, not just for me. My vision goes way further than just me. I got grandkids. We got children. We got great grandkids coming. So we got to put down the shovel. You got to put down the shovel. All of this pertains to MLM because why are you even doing MLM? Because you hear the trigger words, freedom. Right. You hear the trigger words, financial freedom, growth. You hear that, own your own time. Right. Your commute to work is 10 feet from your office from your bed to your office. Right. You hear all of this stuff and you want it, but you're not willing to put down the shovel. Right. Right? People ask me what they need to do to have success in their business. I say it's simple. Listen and be coachable. Exchange your current way of thinking for a new way of thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. If you already know how, then you would have done it by now. The key word in that paragraph was coachable. If you come into this thinking that you already know, then you won't go. Simple. You have to humble yourself enough to allow somebody to teach you. And there's another, I'm telling y'all, this book is power packed. There's another section in here called Coach or No.
Yeah.
Right? This is where you need to make sure that you find the right person to coach you. And I've said before, not everybody needs a mentor, but everybody needs a coach. You need somebody to show you the ropes. And last I checked, if there are two people, if you just learning to play basketball, you're not going to ask another person that's just learning to be your coach. Right? You have to come into something, and you have to attach yourself to somebody that has been in this industry. They know what's going on. Now, we talk about mentors and coaches. I say you don't have to have a mentor, because a mentor to me, right, means it's the difference. A mentor means if I've had people call me up and ask, well, can you be my mentor? And I said, I don't really mentor people. I'll coach you, because if I mentor you, you're going to have to let me into every aspect of your life. I need to know what you're doing, and you're going to have to trust me to keep what you tell me to me. Right. So I need to know I'm going to have to come in and ask you some questions, and you're going to have to not lie to me. Right. Because I can't go in with one eye trying to be your mentor. I need to go in with both eyes wide open, so I know what you're dealing with in order to mentor you. And guess what? Most people are not willing to let you into that aspect of their life. So I can coach you for business. The last I checked, every coach that's out there, Michael Jordan, I call him the GOAT. Tom Brady, I call him the GOAT. Tom is still playing. Michael Jordan is not. Can Michael Jordan play on the level that he played now? No, but he can most certainly coach you on that level. Can we coach you how to be a multimillionaire? Absolutely, because we've been there, done that, right? Can we coach you how to be a billionaire? Absolutely not. We're being coached on doing that ourselves, right? So you always want to find somebody that can coach you. So that's another section, right, that we're going to get in depth with. We're going to talk about how you actually choose that and all the whole nine. So putting down the shovel, owning it and putting down the shovel, I think are two very important sections of this book.
Very important. You own it in order to change it. And then once you realize the challenges that you have in life, then we have to make a decision that we're going to put down the shovel and not be concerned about the thoughts, the opinions of anybody else, but realizing that it's necessary. It's necessary for change. It's necessary for growth. It's necessary to create success in this industry or anything that you put your hands to that you want to see results and success happening. Just really some of the, it's just great to be able to share some of the things that we've been through in this industry to get to where we are today as we're continuing to grow. We don't know everything, but we can truly say that we've been able to learn a lot, to be able to go through a lot. And so, this is the season in which we just really believe that, giving back, just like Nate talked about in the very beginning, to really share the things that we went through, the challenges, the fact that we didn't own things in the beginning, the fact that we failed, from not listening, from not being coachable,
being coachable, from not submitting.
Right. For all of that, we went through all of that. Therein lies the 26 plus years that it took us in this industry, but we're thankful. It was our process. And so we're thankful. And that's where a lot of times people miss it. You got to embrace your own process, realizing that this is truly about the person that you have to become, the person that you decide to be. And so when you own it, you put down the shovel and you get yourself to the point to where you're doing what you know is necessary for you, your family, your goals, your dreams, the impact, the purpose that you know that you're called to make it this life. And there's Maximus.
I told you he was gonna start snoring.
Right? I tell you, this dog is the oh my gosh, I never heard a dog snore like this. All right, Cane Corso, y'all, 110-pound puppy.
Hey, big man.
All right, but that's what he does.
Trying to do a
but
podcast,
just realizing that these are the things that really are the things that you grow through in order to get to the very things that you desire to have.
And I heard a great actor, Jack Nicholson, I think his name is. I think it's his name. He was in the movie the military
I
movie.
definitely don't know. I'm not the movie person.
He said they put him on the stand. And they kept asking him for the truth. Some of you guys know the movie. They could tell us the truth. And, and all of a sudden in an outbreak, he said, "You can't handle the truth."
Right.
And I found that to be so true with a lot of people. Most people can't handle the truth. So therefore, they don't seek it. They don't want somebody telling them exactly what they need to do. And because the truth hurts, in order for you to find out what you need to do, you first have to find out where you are. And that part of where you are hurts. The challenging part is doing it, right? So when you look at, when you talk about, who's going to coach you and things of that nature, we're going to get into that next week. Right, a little bit on Thursday. I'm sorry, right. On Thursday, and those two sections are transparency and coach or nah, right, or coach or no coach, however you properly want to say it. I called it nah. Coach or nah, nah. Can't. Yeah. But how does this affect when we get into this? Because I want you guys to come back for the next discussion. Because one thing that you can rest assured is that I'm never going to hold anything back from you guys. Because I believe the truth is enough, right? And I believe that I control this part, my core, right? And anything that comes in here, I want it to be the truth, right? So that's why I don't get approached with a whole bunch of nonsense and drama, right? Because I steer clear of it. If it's something I don't like, I just walk away from it, right? I don't have to do a PSA. I just steer myself along another path because it's not feeding my spirit. And you're going to find that in this industry a lot. And it makes a lot of sense for you to be attached to people or to a person or to a group, whoever it is that actually have the same set of morality, the same set of integrity that you have, and maybe you're not that person. Maybe you don't, maybe you've been, as my dad used to say, shucking and jiving, all your life, and you haven't really been real and true with yourself yet. So it's hard to actually you didn't have to wake him up like that. He's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep doing it. It's hard to actually expect somebody else to do something that you're not already doing, right? It's hard. You can't ask somebody to do something that you are not doing or haven't done, right? That's the key, right? So now when we get into these two next sessions, transparency or coach or nah, you guys are going to want to be here for those two sections, because they're actually going to help you a lot, especially when we get into transparency. So recapping a little bit, we talked about mentality and mechanics a lot, because a lot of people come into this industry and they think that it's all about, tell me exactly what I need to do. Give me a strategy. It's all about you becoming who you need to become for the law of attraction to kick in, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And we talked about that. And we also talked about the second part with that was progress is just moving. We talked about the simple system. We've talked about owning it. And we've showed you now how to put down the shovel. That's enough for you to go out right now and get your business started the right way. Some of you, this is going to be your very, very first day in multi-level marketing, not because you've never been a part of it and this is your first day and you're saying, I think this can work for me. But some of you, this is going to be your first day because you've been doing it wrong all of this time. And you need to start over. And you need to commit yourself for a solid year to say, hey, I'm in this thing to win it because there's something in here for me. I know it is. So I'm going to stick and stay. I'm going to do it. I don't care what company you're with, what business you're in. If you believe in the products, if you believe in the service and they work for you and they work for other people, your testimonies outweigh the criticisms, then guess what? Stick and stay. Stick and stay. And that's the name of the game.
That is the name of the game. All right.
All right. So guys, it's been an honor being with you guys, man.
Thanks for tuning in.
We've had a blast. We hope you guys come back on Thursday. As we said, this is Pam and I's way of giving back to this industry, because if we don't give back, if we don't actually set the mindset for what you guys need to expect in this business, then guess what? You'll do the same thing that we did for 26 years and spin your wheels and not do anything except complain and keep other people from doing the thing that you know nothing about. All right. God bless y'all, man. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
See y'all on Thursday. All right. And noon.
And thank you guys for all the comments. You're very welcome.
Eastern Standard Time. All right. You're welcome. God bless you all. Bye-bye, y'all.
All right, IG, next time. See you on Thursday. Same time. 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You guys are welcome. We out, y'all.